Jordan Long here, and today I'm going to talk about hackers hate Google Chrome OS. Now, you might make an argument and you might say that hackers hate Google Chrome OS. Yeah, it's an understatement. Now, people are going to say, well, how can they hate something that only very few people use? Well, the very few people that use Google Chrome OS as a Google Chrome-based Google Chromebook computer are the only ones that viruses and worms and a lot of malware isn't going to affect. So hackers claim they're always smart people. You hear about them brag all the time, or at least people say they brag all the time. They go, oh, I can fuck up your computer. I know how to fuck up Microsoft Windows. Your antivirus, your ad blocker, and your firewall can't do anything to my viruses and worms. And that was true. If you had Microsoft Windows and still have Microsoft Windows, the hackers just basically laughed. Because they knew how they could mess up Microsoft Windows. They knew how to get things that could get past firewall, things that the ad blocker wouldn't block, and they knew how to get certain things that even an antivirus wouldn't be able to deal with. Then there were those who thought that Apple Macintosh OS was the one, but the hackers just laughed at that and said, "Oh, you Apple Macintosh OS people, we can fuck your computers up too." And it was proven over and over again. Same thing with Linux. Same thing with Google Android. And then came Google Chrome OS. And this was the operating system that the hackers learned real quick that the viruses and worms that they would send were not going to infect their target. And this was the operating system that, unless they had scareware, unless they had ransomware, unless they had some type of scareware, chances of their malware being effective was going to be very slim to none. So then they would be like this. Oh, I hate you, you Google Chrome OS user. My virus, my worm been contained to the sandbox. It's immune. Fuck! I hate this. But do you actually think that they'll make you think that? Yeah, and then they'll just, once they realize their virus or worm or whatever they made isn't affecting it, they'll just figure, well, one day I'll figure it out. Well, that one day hasn't come yet. I mean, Google Chrome books have been out from have been out at least going back to 2012 AD. And the Google Chrome bases have been out at least going back to 2013 AD, of course. So Google Chrome OS has been at least on the market for at least, I'm going to make an argument, 1, 2, 3, 4 years. 4 years if you want to be, And you would think in 4 years they would have figured out how to mess that one up, But of course, they still can't. And people think, well, after 4 years, you would think that they'd be able to mess something up, as I said, and unfortunately they haven't. But I'm sure that they're probably waiting around for someone at Google to give them trade secrets. They're probably thinking, well, if I somehow figured out how Google makes their sandbox work, I might be able to do it. They hate Google Chrome OS. It's a foe to them. They don't like it. Yeah, well, I'm going to go back and keep fucking up Microsoft Windows and Apple Macintosh OS and Linux and Google Android. Yeah, well, good for you. You claim you're so smart. You claim you know how to mess up computers, but Google Chrome OS, I guess, is something you don't know how to mess up. Are you bragging? No. So hackers hate Google Chrome OS. They hate it. And if you ever talk to them, they say they don't like it. I haven't talked to any of them personally, and I don't want to. I think the evil hackers out there that use their wisdom, that Lucifer tempts them to use their wisdom for evil, and they go through it, unfortunately, is wrong. Okay? So, yeah. They don't like Google Chrome OS, since their worms and viruses are contained to the sandbox and can affect like the operating system or anything. So that's it. I'm Jordan Long, and I hope you enjoyed this moving show.